Thriving Relationships with Jessica Hartley. The following is paid programming and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome to Thriving Relationships with Jessica Hartley. We are here live at the KHTS studio in beautiful downtown Santa Clarita. It is a nice sprinkly day today, and we are here every Thursday at 12 p.m. on AM 1220 and 98.1 FM. I'm your host, Jessica Hartley, founder of the Legendary Love Program, and we're here today to talk all about exactly what it takes to create long-lasting love. Right? Because that's the key, the golden ticket that we want. Because a lot of us can get into relationship. It's easy to start something, to be attracted, to have all of that, the butterflies and the excitement of new love. And then even a couple years in, it's still good. And then once you create a commitment, and then you start having a marriage, and you start getting through and over some of that honeymoon phase where it's just where we stop being the very best of what we are. And some of our hidden addictions, some of our hidden insecurities, some of our hidden weaknesses will start to come out and play off of the hidden addictions, weaknesses, and triggers of other people. So of this other person that's our partner. So what we want to do is understand exactly what does it take to create a long-lasting love, one that thrives not just for 1 year, not just for the first 7, but through and for our lifetime. And that's the golden ticket. So we've really identified exactly what that takes, and it really comes down to 6 essential elements. Here's the thing. If you don't have these 6 elements, you will not thrive in long-lasting love, and it's simple as that. So what I want you to do is, as you're listening today, to just really take some time to self-reflect, get really humble, because sometimes when we're in our ego, we might say, oh yeah, I'm really good at that, or that's an area of my relationship that I've got down, or I'm decent at it. But what I'm going to talk about today is really the intricate details of these essential elements, and what those things are that sometimes go unnoticed, that sometimes we're not paying enough attention to where we neglect them. We begin to take our partner for granted in these certain areas, or we don't put enough focus, energy, dedication, effort on our part in being able to make sure that these 6 essential elements are nurtured and maintained in the relationship. Because it's like with anything, if you don't nurture and maintain the growth that you're looking for, it will die off. It's as simple as that. It's relationships, if you want them to thrive, if you want them to last, there are these 6 elements that are important for you to keep your focus on, keep nurturing, keep developing, and get really good at overcoming some of those areas of your weaknesses. So here they are, just laid out straight for you. The very first and the most important is your self-honor. And I say this because, a lot of times people come to me or to seek marital counseling or marital help in some way, and they just want to work on the relationship. And that approach will not create long-lasting change or long-lasting love, because if you don't have the strength, the confidence, the self-honor, the inner self-fulfillment, self-reliance, all of those elements that are about you bringing yourself, the best version of you, forward into the relationship, then your relationship itself will be built on rocky soil, and it will eventually crumble. One day the sand is going to shift that you've built that on, and then it's all going to come crashing down. And that's what happens. It happens all the time. So it's the most important aspect for us to make sure that what we're bringing forward is myself whole and complete and ready to enter into a shared experience with a specific person that I feel connected with, and that we're in this for the long haul. You won't be in it for the long haul if that person one day will begin to push on your buttons, those insecurities, those weaknesses that you have, and then you don't like that. And when you start not liking that, then you start not liking that person anymore. So if you can get to the point where you really are taking full responsibility for your own emotional response to what's happening outside of you, when you take full responsibility for that, then when your partner starts to push your buttons about 5, 7 years, 10 years, 20, 25 years into the marriage, you will not be affected as greatly. It will not mean that the whole relationship has to come crashing down. It will simply mean, there's some opportunity for growth here, and it's going to start with me because I'm the one that's having this negative emotional reaction. And that's where the personal ownership comes in. So that's the first element. But to tie that right into the next element, that one is to have the ability to heal our wounds, right? So we all have wounds. We all have things that we came in through this world, through childhood experiences, through early relationship experiences, where we are wounded. There are parts of what we perceived about our world, about who we were when we were a child, that have stayed with us, that are in our subconscious, replaying that pattern over and over again as it gets stimulated or triggered in our environments. And the number one place where those things will come up is in relationship. You see, because when we have relationships with friends or with coworkers or even people that are, that we work with or in our world and, acquaintances, those people will never push those buttons because they're too far removed. See, the only people that can possibly push those buttons, hit those trigger points that we're carrying around with us from childhood, are the ones that are so close to us. So that's our immediate family, our partner that we pick in the world, and our children. Even sometimes our parents will do that. And really, that's the extent of it. So when we enter into relationship, one of the things that I teach is that relationship is this amazing vessel for our personal growth. And that's one of the beautiful things that it provides for us. And if we learn how to use romantic relationship with our partner as this vessel for my own personal growth, then you are set. You're on your way to thrive. So in order to be able to heal those inner childhood wounds, it's not that you have to heal all of them before you get into a committed relationship, but that you have awareness that stuff will come up, that you will get triggered at some point or another, that your partner will get triggered at some point or another, and then that you have a growth mindset, a willingness to grow through those times when they come in. Because if you are not willing to grow here, you will eventually find yourself battling your ego and those wounds and trying to protect and going into defense and even bringing out some of your greatest ammunition to hurt the partner in front of you. Saying those things that are so painful that are going to be really hard to take back. We start to do this because this is our defense mechanism. But we have to be bigger than that. And that is in our growth mindset, our ability to take responsibility for my own triggers and to get them in check, to make sure that I am bringing my best self forward for me, and then for my partner and for my children, and then for the world. And it really goes that way. Sometimes people think, especially after they have children, that the children come first. Children are the number one priority because, they are dependent on us. They are nurtured and developed by us. But really, they are absolutely important, and that is such an important role to take to take in. But we have it backwards. The very first person in that priority list has to be ourselves. It's like when you put that mask on in the airplane, right? That whole adage, it's like you've got to put the mask on yourself before you put it on your children. And why is that? Well, your child's not going to even be helped. You can't help them as much if you're not grounded, stable, in control of your emotional reactions, in control of your creating the peace in your life, self-fulfilled, all of these things, confident, self-honoring. If you don't have this stuff, then any preaching that you're going to give to your children or your spouse or the world is going to fall flat. It's going to sort of go in that one ear and out the other because you're not really energetically holding that space within yourself. So we've got to make sure that the very first priority here is myself. Second, number 2 in the priority list is your partner. Same reason. Because you need to have this united front. You want to have a cohesive unit to nurture and develop the children. Think about it. If you are not nurturing your relationship as husband and wife or partners, then any children that you bring into that environment are going to see a split, a divide. And if there's a divide there, then they get divided within themselves because they love each of you so dearly. And then they will start to feel like they have to choose sides. They will feel split. They will feel like they'll either need to try to bring you guys together when there's conflict or, whatever. They start to take on these roles that they're not meant to take on. But they will when there's a lack of cohesiveness in the partnership. So it's so important that we make the relationship, my partner, the nurturing and the well-being, first priority number 1 is me. Second priority is my spouse, my partner. And then third is our children and those that we are raising and bringing up. Because once you have that, then the children, there's not that much more that you have to do because you're already showing a great example, right? Because children learn through example. Actually, everyone learns through example, but children especially. They're not going to learn from us so much what we say or what we do, but what they're watching us do. So if I'm showing a great model of myself, my confidence, my self-honor, my ability to control and regulate my emotional reactions, and I have a good well-being, a disposition about myself and about the world. And then we're also showing that through the parenting unit, through our relationship with my spouse. Then when our children are watching us, there's not much more we have to teach them because they're already seeing it. And parenting at that point becomes very easy because then it's just reinforcement and applying what they're seeing through our example to their own circumstances. And then it's easy. So beyond the children, then it becomes the world. What you're doing, your service, your contribution, or whatever it is that you feel called or passionate to serve the world in. Maybe, in your work life, or maybe with friends, or maybe in those, all those outside environments. Think of it like a ripple. When you throw a stone into a lake, you start with that first ripple. You are the stone. Second ripple is your relationship. Third ripple is your children. And fourth is the world, your friends, your family, your work life. So that was actually a little tangent, but essentially number 1 element is self-honor and confidence. Number 2 element is heal your wounds and have a growth mindset around that. So number 3 is to have connection, right, in the relationship. So what does that mean? Connection means deep friendship, which is essentially one of the things that is missing so much in our relationships because we start with a connection, but then somehow we're not friends anymore because we start blaming and we stop really understanding and seeing the best in our partner. And we start to get in defense and to look for the bad in them instead of seeing the innocence in them. They are a soul having a human experience here, just like you are. Just like everyone else is. They are innocent. They came from a childhood just like you did. They were shaped by their early experiences just like you did. And so when we start to lose that connection to that, to how we are the same and how we can have this deep friendship, this connection of emotional connection, then we lose the relationship. Another area of this is trust. So trust is built on this deep connection. Trust, and one of the fallacies that we do with trust is that we put far too much weight of trust in our partner rather than in ourselves. And we'll go into that in a little bit. All right, so the fourth area is conflict resolution. So this does, again, have to do with taking ownership and having that growth mindset. But conflict resolution is actually quite easy if you know a very straightforward path on how to get through it. See, the unfortunate thing is that most of us are not raised with this path. Most of us are raised through a model that our parents were just doing the best that they knew, and sometimes there was arguing or fighting, and it got to a point where they didn't resolve the issue, and then there was resentments that happen after that. That's where you start to lose some of that deep connection. So if you have a model that is successful every time at helping you get through conflict, then you're 100 times ahead of the game. I mean, just think of it. Every time you started a conflict and you were able to actually not just get through it, but to build your relationship even stronger because of it. And that's the other thing that I preach so much, is that conflict is really here to serve us. Every time there's a conflict, it really helps us to elevate our own personal growth, our own personal understanding of ourselves and the other person. It helps us to strengthen our tenacity of non-judgment and acceptance and love, like deep, deep love. You're going to find yourself reaching into deeper depths of love that you didn't know existed when you know how to move through conflict. Okay, and closely related to that element is easy communication. So again, this is another thing that most of us don't really know how to do. We're raised in a structure where it's like I have to walk on eggshells around my partner, or I'm not allowed to say what I really want to say, or when I do, they get defensive and they can't hear me, or I just don't feel understood. So now I've learned to just shut my mouth and I don't speak anymore. And now I'm just building more and more resentment because of that. And the thing is that this is also an easy path. Just like conflict resolution, there are specific things. It's like learning any kind of art form. Easy communication is also an art form. So you can be influential. You can do exactly what you came to do in that conversation. You can be understood. You can solve a problem together respectfully if you simply know how exactly to be effective in your communication. And again, it's a simple formula for that. It's a lot easier than most people think, and it's just about learning it and practicing it. All right, so the next element is sex. So passion and intimacy, and really making sure that this area of our life, this is sort of the flip side of the deep connection, right? So that friendship. So on the opposite side here, we have our passion and our fire and the spice of our relationship. Another area that is also, it will wane if you don't pay attention to it. It will slowly go step by step by step, less and less and less. You've got to put effort into it. You've got to, number one, know where the source of that passion is. That passion and that desire, all of that comes, once again, from within you, not from what your partner is doing or not doing, or making you feel or not making you feel. See, because like I'll always say, we're magnets, right? And if I want to raise the vibration or the energy of a particular area of my relationship, I have to step into where I'm attracting. I have to take ownership for what I'm getting back. What am I seeing in my partner that's reflecting back to me? And if I don't like it, all I got to do is raise myself, and then my partner will join me. Because once I start being a different way and start nurturing the intimacy in a different way, where I'm not needy, then all that fire, all that passion, all that desire comes right back. Again, another area that is essential but must be nurtured. And then lastly, did I say all of them? I think I did. I think that's 6. So yes, so those are the 6 elements. So just in review, we have self-honor, we have healing our wounds, we have deep connection, conflict resolution, easy communication, and desire and passion. So we're going to take a quick break, and after the break, we're going to go into a little bit more details of some of these areas, the areas where most people fail to notice that they're falling short in. This is Jessica Hartley, Thriving Relationships, and we'll be right back.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Right now at IHOP, order any breakfast combo and we'll sweeten the deal with all-you-can-eat pancakes. So get out your all-you-can-eat silverware, because these pancakes aren't gonna all-you-can-eat themselves, because pancakes don't do that. Get IHOP's all-you-can-eat pancakes with any breakfast combo. Or just get the all-you-can-eat pancakes for $4.99. What else you got going on today?
It's no secret that heavy-duty cleaning chemicals can be toxic for babies, pets, and even adults. Eco Green Clean SCV can put your worries at ease. Eco Green Clean SCV only uses organic, environmentally friendly products, reducing the risk of health issues for any age. Eco Green Cleaners uses essential oils that lend to aromatherapeutic benefits. Eco Cleaners are reliable, thorough, and all cleanings are guaranteed. Locally owned and operated by a single mom who started this organic business 5 years ago.
For more information or to book a cleaning, call 993-9136.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
She's one of country music's most beloved artists, and she's coming to Santa Clarita. It's Academy of Country Music Award winner, Sara Evans. At the Canyon Club in Santa Clarita on June 4th. She's sold millions of records, has been at the top of the country charts 5 times, and has just released her 8th studio album, Words. It's Sara Evans.
We'll find place to start. There's no place that far.
And featuring our own Savannah Burrows.
Maybe we'd
Sara Evans with special guest Savannah Burrows, June 4th at the Canyon Club in the Valencia Town Center.
Maybe there's no place that far.
Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Pure Birth's Pregnancy and Wellness is Santa Clarita's newest birth center, offering holistic prenatal care, water births, labor and delivery, and postpartum care. Owned and operated by California Medical Board licensed midwife Tiffany Gallo, who has been serving expected families in the SCV for over a decade. Pure Births is also a Medi-Cal birth center. If you want to experience a natural birth with the freedom to birth your way in a safe and professional environment, contact Pure Births on Tournament Road near McBean, purebirths.com.
Women have a natural power to nurture and heal our relationships, but our strength is not in demanding, begging, settling, or running away. We're more grounded than that. No matter how depleted you feel, you can save this relationship and fuel the warmth of a solid, lasting marriage. When you step into your radiance, you'll naturally influence loyalty, trust, connection, and passion from your partner. The legendary Love Program has been healing relationships from the brink of divorce all over Santa Clarita. Check it out at jessicahartley.com/program. Love is worth it.
Your hometown station.
As soon as I leave my house in Saugus, I always turn on KHTS for the latest traffic updates.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back to Thriving Relationships with Jessica Hartley. So we are here talking all about those 6 essential elements that are required, needed, that you must have if you want to have a long-lasting relationship. Now, each of these areas, sometimes there's we try to solve this by a few different things. So sometimes we will find someone who can hold a safe space for us to just vent. And we'll start talking to them about our issues. And while this is a really good and amazing and needed first approach to solving it, it's not the end game. You see, because if you've studied anything about learning and changing the way that we think and what our subconscious is saying or doing, we must have a structure to be able to rewire some of these old patterns that we've been replaying over and over in our relationship and really in our life. You have to have a structure that helps you relearn how to go about something. It's like, there's that adage or that saying that the definition of an insanity is when you keep doing the same thing but expecting a different results. See, venting alone won't help you. You might do that through a friend or finding someone that could help you and hold that space for you, but that alone will only get you so far because you end up still feeling the weight of the pain. You still end up feeling like you don't have a path to follow or you don't have something to do. So one of the things that is essential is that you've got to have a mentor. You have to have someone that knows, has been where you want to be and or is where you want to be and knows how to guide you step by step to get to that place. So that requires direct feedback. Think about it this way. If you go to learn a new job, what do you have to do? You have to have someone showing you the ropes. Okay, you got to push this button when this happens. You got to do this when that happens. All right, in this circumstance, oh yeah, that was unexpected. Here's another thing you got to think about. And so you learn through experience. And if someone was just if you were to just read a book, for example, sometimes people go to books, which are also great, but not the end game. It's just that first step. You read a book and you learn, okay, this is how I need to be the best sales manager of this organization. This is what I got to, and you're just reading about it. But you're not actually going to learn until you're having practical application. So where you're applying what you're learning and you have someone, a mentor or someone that can give you direct feedback on how you're doing with that, where you could have done better. And the ability to have someone like a coach, which is the work that I do, is that it's about being so honest because you care about this person in front of you. You have someone that can say, hey, yeah, I get what you're trying to do, but look, that's not going to work. You're going to have to, take some ownership here, and someone that could be so honest with you that you actually can grow from it, because that they have your back. That they want to see you succeed. I don't know if anyone has if you've ever experienced what it feels like when someone believes in you so powerfully. That alone pushes you forward, propels you forward. That alone will, it's like this feeling of it's not just me. Someone else also is putting all of their energy and focus and dedication for me, for my success. They believe in me. I remember one of the times that as I was, starting to do some of my early work, that my husband said that to me. And he was that person for me where he believed so powerfully in me that I was going to do something great with my life, that I was going to be a big influencer, that I was going to be substantial to the world. And he said that. And him just saying that alone at that time where I didn't fully believe it myself propelled me forward and helped me to really step into the strength that that I have now today. So, that's what a coach offers, is someone that can get in your corner, can be your mentor, and really help you rock your world, take ownership of it, and become the author of your experience. And so this is the thing. So sometimes when we have issues in these areas, it's not enough. Yes, books and someone to vent to are great, but don't stop there. That's where we fail, is we think that, I've tried everything I'll hear. No. You've just started scratching the surface. You didn't keep going with that. It's about application. There's a few books that I've read in the past about rapid skill acquisition, which means how can we learn something as adults with our adult brains, so all of our neural associations already in place. How can we learn something new in the most effective way? And that is through structure. The structure being a place where you have a mentor, where you have feedback, where you have practical application, where you have the ability to ask questions and to be guided along that path. And then repetition. That is the next thing. Repetition is so important. See, and that's where, a weekend retreat or a book will fall short, because you don't have that structure that gives you the repetition of being held consistently accountable to this new model that you're trying to incorporate. So that repetition, that consistency is what does it. I don't want to get too far into the brain development, but, basically after we turn 8 years old, the area of our brain in our parietal lobe will now restrict any new information from coming in. And so essentially we end up playing over and over some of the same associations and patterns of thinking that we had up until 8 years old. And the only way to change that is a consistent, repetitive, strong thought. So if it's a fleeting thought, if it just comes in once in a while, or it's not consistent and within a given amount of time, it's not going to go in. And it's really as simple as that. So if you want to have success and really change your relationship, you have to make sure you have a structure that has each of those elements in. And that's where we fall short when we're trying to nurture these areas. We think that, let me just, nurture it. And then it goes away because it wasn't consistent enough. So if we really want to be successful, it's got to be consistent. We've got to have that feedback and that practical application. So those other areas, the other biggest area that we neglect, or we think that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, but really we're not, is when we need the other person to change first. I hear so many times, my partner is not meeting me halfway, and that I'm doing my part, but then they're not doing their part. Well, see, relationship is not about you going up into a certain point and then saying, okay, meet me here. See, the best relationships, and when I say best, what I mean is the relationships that last, the lasting relationships, don't need the partner to do a set of things in order for them to do a set of things. See, the thriving relationships will have a partner, at least one, who can first be the model, and then both will enter into that, but at least one where that person will go all the way, the 100%. The 100% because they do it despite what's happening outside of their environment, that being the relationship, right? So despite what's happening in front of you with this person, whether they're doing A, B, or C, I'm still going to be kind, considerate, empathetic, loving, have integrity and nurture who I really am. I'm still going to show up in the best version of myself. And when I do that, then my partner can only rise up to that. Because when if I am in the disposition of, I need my partner to meet me halfway, and if he doesn't or she doesn't, then I'm not going to do A, B, or C. I'm going to stop doing A, B, or C well, then that gives my partner the ammunition or the reasoning, the excuse really, to keep not doing A, B, and C. And if we want to actually help them to step into areas that are important for you, you've got to make sure that you are fully doing it for yourself and being the best version of yourself so that you can create that model in the relationship. And the biggest thing about being able to do that is that you can't do it for your partner. You can't do it because you're actually manipulating your partner to give it back to you in return. See, when you give or when you are a certain way, it's a way of being that comes from within you. It has to be self-fulfilled. It has to be coming from a place of, hey, this is just who I am because it's who I am. And this is my way of being because it's my way of being. Not because I expect you to give it to me in return. Not because I need you to also be this way with me. So we get wrapped up into that. Like the love languages is a perfect example. It's really great if we can nurture our partner's love language. But if we are only nurturing our partner's love language so that they will nurture ours in return, then we're manipulating. Then we're not really loving. And that's the cold, hard truth. Because if what love rides on has no strings attached, it's an energy of acceptance, of giving, of abundance, and it has no need attached to it. Real love is about just being fulfilled from within and then letting that overflow onto your partner and the world around you. And when you get that, then you realize that the greatest area that I have out of all of these elements to develop is myself. And that, again, is why I say that love is really a personal growth vessel, because you will grow into the depths of self-fulfillment and self-love and self-honor. And when you do that, then it's like that ripple effect again. Your relationship then becomes easy. Empathy. Let's talk about that. Empathy is a huge, important aspect of relationship. Empathy means I get you. I understand you. I see you. I hear you. I've been where you are. I get it. If we don't have empathy for our partner, then we can never really see them or meet them at their level. And if they don't feel ever met or seen or heard at their level from their perspective, regardless if you agree with it, but you've got to meet them there. You've got to meet them at the point of, we're both having human experiences right now, and we both have different perceptions about reality right now. And that's okay. You've got to meet them there, because if you don't, then everything that they will do will be in opposition to whatever your perspective is. And this goes for parenting as well. One of the things I did early on in my work was some parenting work. And what I see so many times in relationship, be it love or parenting, is when the child or the spouse doesn't feel understood and the parent isn't willing to understand them or empathize, meet them there to say, I understand how you're feeling, then the child or the spouse will rebel against the parent's perspective or the spouse's perspective, even though they actually don't want to. Because the truth is that we all want connection. We all crave connection. It's that sense of belonging that we yearn for, that we're wired for. So if we essentially are sticking to our rightness and use that as an excuse not to be empathetic or to make the other person in front of us feel heard, seen, and understood, then we're creating our own problem. We're really caging ourselves in to our own castle where we are the sole entity of that castle, and the whole world and our partner is outside. We have to be empathetic if we're going to have any chance at long-term connection at all. So that's one of the other areas. When it comes to intimacy, again, the biggest fallacy that most people make is that this has to come from the other partner, that the other partner is responsible for the desire, for the passion, for validating my request for intimacy. And all of that is, once again, putting all of our attention and our focus outside of ourselves. And the minute that we do that, we give our power away. We don't stay empowered in what we're creating here and what we're cultivating and what we're nurturing. Instead, we put all of that in the hands of the other person and we say, okay, ball's in your court. Let's see what you do. And the truth is that that's outside of your control. Why would you give that power away? You have the power to cultivate desire, passion, intimacy, all of that. But it has to come from within you. So you step it up. Stop needing desire from your partner. Be so in tune and connected to yourself that you desire yourself, that you're so into yourself, even intimately, that your partner can't help but to want to share that with you, that they're just attracted or captivated by that with you. And that's when you'll ignite that desire. And anything else is fleeting. If the desire comes from a place of where only the other person has to be the one showing the desire, and then I feel desired, well, then it's fleeting. Then it's always outside of your capacity, always outside of your control, and then you're always going to be needy and looking for it outside of you, looking for validation of your worth, of your beauty, of your essence outside of you. And that doesn't serve you. That's not self-honoring. So that's the biggest fallacy that we make in that department. Again, when it comes to conflict resolution and easy communication, those are really easy. You just got to learn the path to do that and then stick to it, wire it. See, that's why we need that structure and that repetition, because it's got to be rewired in our subconscious and how we work through that. That's an art form to be able to do those things. But once you've got it, then you can just take it with you throughout the length of your relationship, and it will work every single time. But empathy for sure is in that path. Just so you know, it's got to be in there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take another quick break, and I'm going to take any questions. Anyone watching on Facebook Live, if you have any questions for me, I will go ahead and answer that on the other side of the break. This is Thriving Relationships, and you're listening to Jessica Hartley. We'll be right back.
Weekends are now exciting in Santa Clarita as Persia Hookah Lounge hosts its House of Entertainment every weekend night from 8 to 11. Thursdays feature a DJ on the hookah patio. Stop by Fridays for performances by Belly Dancer of the Universe winner Jasmina, or Saturdays to hear great local live bands. Persia Lounge also caters for both homes and businesses, starting as low as $8. Discover Persia Hookah Lounge on Main Street, where it's all happening in Old Town Newhall. Persia-lounge.com.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
It's Scream season at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and your hometown station has your way in to experience a superhero collection of the most world-class coasters at the thrill capital of the world. With the most coasters, you can go for a loop at Six Flags any day of the week. Keep listening to your hometown station for your chance to win a day of Six Flags thrills for free. Not a winner? You can still get super deals on tickets, season passes, and memberships when you visit sixflags.com today.
Pure Birth's Pregnancy and Wellness is Santa Clarita's newest birth center, offering holistic prenatal care, water births, labor and delivery, and postpartum care. Owned and operated by California Medical Board licensed midwife Tiffany Gallo, who has been serving expected families in the SCV for over a decade. Pure Births is also a Medi-Cal birth center. If you want to experience a natural birth with the freedom to birth your way in a safe and professional environment, contact Pure Births on Tournament Road near McBean, purebirths.com.
It's no secret that heavy-duty cleaning chemicals can be toxic for babies, pets, and even adults. Eco Green Clean SCV can put your worries at ease. Eco Green Clean SCV only uses organic, environmentally friendly products, reducing the risk of health issues for any age. Eco Green Cleaners uses essential oils that lend to aromatherapeutic benefits. Eco Cleaners are reliable, thorough, and all cleanings are guaranteed. Locally owned and operated by a single mom who started this organic business 5 years ago.
For more information or to book a cleaning, call 993-9136.
Welcome back to Thriving Relationships. This is Jessica Hartley. So we're talking all about the 6 essential elements. I'll go ahead and repeat them now for you to create long-lasting and thriving love. And they are the self-honor, personal confidence and self-honor. Number 2, healing your wounds and taking a growth mindset, taking ownership for those things. Number 3 is friendship, connection, and trust. Number 4 is conflict resolution. 5, easy communication. And 6, intimate passion, desire, and spice in the bedroom. So out of those things, we've been talking about what they are and some of those fallacies that we tend to make when we don't really realize maybe we have the wrong approach in trying to nurture those things. So I'm going to go ahead. I got a question, and it is, where's the balance of letting go of control, but also not giving our power away? Meaning, if I am trying not to be demanding of my partner, but also not wanting to give my power away in that. So what I mean by giving your power away is when you are being demanding. So when you are being needy, that is exactly giving your power away. It's the same thing. Because you're putting the stock of the relationship, the stock of how you feel, the stock of your emotional reaction to what your partner is doing. And when you do that, that means that you are giving your power away. So the opposite would be that you're keeping your power to cultivate what you want in your relationship when you are saying, okay, I don't like how this is in my relationship, but instead of me needing or demanding or blaming my partner, I'm going to take ownership myself, and I'm going to say, what do I need to do to raise my energy up so that my reflection that I'm getting back in my partner is different, is radically different even. It doesn't matter how different that you want to get to, you can cultivate that easily. You can create it very easily by just raising yourself up to that level. And it's that way for whatever it is that you want to create. You know, it could be in the bedroom, it could be with connection, it could be with conflict resolution or your self-honor, whatever it is. Those areas that you might find are the biggest struggle in your life. Instead of needing your partner to do all the work, you do it. And if you do it, then you'll have long-lasting change because you're in control of that change, right? Because if your partner needs to do it, think of it that way. If your partner needs to do it, then the change will be fleeting, because what happens when they make a mistake again, or what happens when they, are human and are imperfect sometimes, like you will be too. It's like we have to accept that we're imperfect, that we're always learning and growing. No matter where you get to, no matter where I get to, there's another level for me, and I've got to learn and grow into that, because we are growing. That's part of what we're doing here on this earth. We are growing. We're not here to just be stagnant. We're not here to feel bad or get so upset that we bury ourselves in a hole. If you bury yourself in a hole, the point of that is to plant yourself, ground yourself in that earth, and then sprout and grow. We are meant to grow. That's what we're doing here. So we'll always be growing. And, I think sometimes we just need to stop expecting perfection in ourselves and in our partners, and just start seeing the good in them. And that will change a lot of things. So, okay, so if you guys want to reach out to me, Jessica Hartley, you can call or text me at 661-347-8473, or you can reach out to me via email at connect@jessicahartley.com. And either of those are very good. If you're on Facebook, you can also find me on Facebook, Jessica Hartley MA, or just Jessica Hartley. You'll find me there too, and you can send me a message. That's another great way to reach out to me. All of those will work very well, and I send you all of the best, all of my love, and I wish you all of the best out of life. This is Jessica Hartley. We'll be here next week, 12 p.m. Bye for now.